My name is Moreno Donohoe. I'm currently a junior studying architecture at WashU in St. Louis. I think what drew me most to the project was its kind of speculative nature and the fact that it had the possibility to create or kind of draw solutions out of myself that aren't necessarily feasible or 100% realistic, but allow for a very interesting kind of thought and architectural exercise to explore a wild idea and kind of engage with architectural thinking in a way that is kind of so beyond what maybe is actually possible, but allows for kind of a super fun engagement with architecture in kind of various ways, whether it's 3D modeling or the drawings, but it's just a really interesting kind of conceptual development. It was just so open-ended, and I think that's why I chose to engage with it. When I first approached the project, I was thinking initially about the site. That was kind of one of the big, obviously a big defining factor of this project is kind of where is this project going to be located. And when I think about nuclear testing in general, I initially think of kind of the scarring that has occurred in various different testing sites, but in some cases it can be quite dramatic, like the site I chose in southeastern United States. There's just this flat in the desert that's totally scarred with and dimpled with these massive craters. And so my initial approach thought about how to engage with these kind of massive holes in the ground. And so that is what allowed me to initially think about a big movement architecturally, something bold and kind of on a massive scale that matched the destruction that I was seeing on the landscape. My kind of palette of tools was pretty simple, basically just Rhinoceros 3D, V-Ray as a rendering software, and Illustrator and Photoshop from Adobe. I generally use these tools in school as well, so I've become quite familiar with them, but I feel like those four alone allow for kind of very expressive architectural representation. I think they have all I need. Specifically with Rhino, I didn't spend that much time there. It was mostly in the drawings, in Illustrator, and Photoshop, but Rhino allowed me to kind of grasp the three-dimensional qualities of kind of massing qualities of my project that I wanted. And then with Rhino and V-Ray, I was able to do some nice renderings and clean them up in Photoshop. But all things considered, a quite kind of simple palette of tools, but more than enough to kind of represent a project like this. So what interested me most about the rules of this competition was the fact that you couldn't use words in the presentation. I'm very much a visual learner, and I enjoy kind of experiencing the world visually and aesthetically. So I was interested in challenging myself to represent the architecture as clearly as possible, only using the visuals. And so that kind of was both limiting, but also a good push towards making my representations very clear and communicative of the ideas I was trying to express through my project. So it ended up being both a challenge, but also a rule that allowed for a, I would say, more interesting aesthetic representation of the project. I would say a challenge that I faced conceptually in developing the project was trying to create a piece of architecture that matched the kind of drama of its site. The Yucca Flat in Nevada is just such a dramatic landscape with these holes just like littered all over the place. And I wanted to create something that mirrored that kind of dramatic and powerful image. And so that was a big challenge in my conceptual development, to match that experience of seeing that, but not take away from it or distract. So my intervention, which is this big kind of linear wall that's slotted into the Sedan crater, which is the largest man-made crater on Earth. I tried to be kind of minimal, but also additive enough to create a similar experience, seeing the architecture in contrast with the landscape. I found that the competition was a great way to kind of engage with architecture in a way that's maybe less academic than my school experience. It, in a way, was maybe more fun and less stressful because I felt that there wasn't very much pressure. I could kind of do it at my own pace, explore ideas I wanted to explore, and I kind of acted as my own critic and professor through the experience. And so I was trying to ask myself questions to improve my project and kind of critique my own designs in a way that I hadn't really done before. So I think it taught me to engage with my own work and my own design skills differently, and kind of learn a new way to work on my own that I don't really get in school.